Hello, welcome back. I hope that everybody's fit, well, and this virus haven't affected any of you. But I'll say now and I'll say later, to fight the virus, you don't need a rifle, you don't need a bayonet. That's all you need is to stay indoors. Right, preaching over. What we're going to talk about today is one of the longest serving weapons, or one of the longest serving weapons in the British Army. And if I turned around and say to you, it was a general infantry weapon, Indian pattern, what would I be talking about? Well, I will show you. By the way, I'm wearing gloves, not because of the virus, but I don't want to leave fingerprints on this just in case it goes missing. Right? So, this is an original Brown Bess. No one knows why it's called a Brown Bess, because it's the Indian pattern musket. And this is what the army used, and it was in use for over 50 years. Interesting point about the weapon. This is the firing mechanism, and the firing mechanism is taken from a French pattern. It's very basic and it works. And what happens, I can't cock the weapon because of the age of it, so I'll explain. I'll go through the actions without actually moving anything. You cock it halfway. You pull the pan cover down. You put powder in the little bowl at the bottom, and this part here is flint. You pull that back and to cover the powder. Then the ball is put down, and here would be a ramrod. There's no ramrod in this one because when they first came out on the original ones, they were wood. And you can just imagine wood swells up, breaks, bends, so they brought in metal ones. That's why I'm wearing gloves here. This one's gone and I don't want them in. When you come in to the aim, you fetch it up, you full cock it, and then you fire. Now, in the excitement of fighting, if you didn't full cock it and it was only half cocked, when you pulled the trigger, nothing would happen. And that's where the saying, you're going off half cocked, come from. Got to be fully cocked, otherwise it doesn't work. And if you've got a damp atmosphere and the powder in the pan is a bit moist, when you fire, if it doesn't catch, you just get a puff of smoke. And that's another saying that we use, is a flash in the pan. This have got all the markings of the Royal Armoury. It's all up to date. Britain's Brown Bess flintlock is simple, soldier proof, so even the dullos could use it. Mind you, most of them in the front rank with dullos anyway, because they wouldn't be there otherwise. Excellent weapon if used in volume, i.e. a volley from a front rank, middle rank or whatever, but individually it had a range of 50 yards. And I'm not being sexist, but once you've put the round or the ball in and you've packed it and all that, and you fired it, once it come out of the barrel, it's like some women I know. They decide to go where they want to go, so it doesn't go to the target, it might hit next door to him or anything like that. Completely inaccurate. But in a volley, it was accurate to 100 yards. The caliber is .75. That's a big round. I wouldn't like to be at Burn. The barrel length is 39 inches from there to there. The overall length is 55 inches. See, come out of Britex. I'm going back to the inches, not centimetres. Yes, good, isn't it? The weight, 9 3/4 pounds. Quite heavy. I've tried putting it up into the aim. I don't think the balance is right, so you'd have to have upper body strength. If you're looking at it like that, your arm would have to be out there somewhere to be comfortable. The stock is walnut. And it looks nice when it's polished. It's a good piece of craftsmanship there. The finish is a bright steel with brass furnishing. When I say brass furnishing, for the uninitiated, it didn't mean there's a sofa in there. Right? It's little pieces like this. The brass. The bullet, or the weight of it, is 0.545 grams. I couldn't get it in metric, but never mind. And a 100 grain charge would mean that the ball at the end of it, coming out, is travelling at 1,000 feet per second. So it's a pretty good weapon. It was used by the 24th in the Second Sikh War in 1849, and that was a battle and a half, Shilandawana. I asked some people, do you know anything about Shilandawana? And you say, yes, it's the Zulu War. And I say, no, that's Islandawana or Shilandawana. Sounds the same, pretty much, but two different continents, two different wars. We lost there as well, but I wouldn't say that, okay? But the 24th Regiment lost 50% of its men. Now, they started changing the weapon over, and they went from the Brown Bess to another weapon, and the other weapon was called a Baker rifle. Now, I don't know what got his name, but I can guarantee the person who was named after didn't bake bread. He wasn't a baker. His name might have been, but his occupation wasn't. And when you look at the Baker rifle, now remember, Brown Bess was in for 200 years about. So that's how much respect they had for this weapon. This is the Baker weapon. Same mechanism, cock, half cock, full cock, striker, pan. There's a little hole in there that the powder goes into, and it goes behind cartridge, or the ball and the padding. The difference with this, the barrel is rifled. So when the round, I know it's the ball, but I'm used to saying the round. And it doesn't matter what it is. If it hits you, you're not going to ask what it was. The barrel is rifled. So when the ball comes out, it's spinning. And because it's spinning, it is more accurate. And the ones that basically got to shoot with it first, in some of the books I've read, with the rifles. Now, you've all seen Sharp on television, The Chosen Men. That is quite accurate, The Chosen Men, because they got paid half a day's pay more than other men in the regiment. And they had to fire one round more than the infantryman. They had to hit the target 8 times out of 10. They had to be fit because they went at 160 paces per minute. So it was a fast walk and a trot. And they would go out in front of the regiment. Today you'd call them the recce. In them days, they might have been called the forward protection. So next time you look at Sharp, have a look at the rifles that some of his men are. Some have got the Brown Bess, some have got the Baker rifle. Nice weapon. The barrel is 32 inches long. Again, it's a .75 caliber round. I can't help it, I gotta say round. The overall time that it was used was issued as a cavalry carbine, because if you look at this one and you look at it's a strain holdiness, I tell you, if you look at the Brown Bess in relation to it, it's much shorter. So, simple weapon with rifling, more accurate. But these were used in the Sikh Wars. They were loved and respected by their men. Like most soldiers, you could be a real scruffy bugger, but your rifle was always clean and ready to go. Right? That is the Baker rifle and the Brown Bess. What I will do, I will put up some of the specifications, or Richie will possibly, if I talk to him nice, make him a cup of coffee and put a laxative in it. While he's sitting on the toilet, he can have his laptop on his lap, and he can put in some of the specifications and the individual names of the parts. The Baker rifle was also used in the American Civil War. By them. That's what we lost. No, it's not really, but I just said that. Now, I'm not going to do too much on these weapons. The reputation stands out and everybody knows, or everybody knows the name Brown Bess. Like I say, no one knows why it's got the name. I think I'll leave it there. I've waffled enough, I think. So, and of course, the bayonet. I'm not going to put this on the weapon because, as I said, these are originals. So this more likely is an 1849 type of weapon, copy or marker weapon, because that was the date of Shirandawana. I might say a little bit later on about the Second Sikh War, 1849, because there was a medal struck for it. And it's quite a nice medal. Bayonet. If you had this in you, you'd get the point. Right, I'm going to leave these there. Later on, I think Richie might do a scan of them just to show the markings that's on them and the proof markings from the Royal Armoury. The only thing I've got to say for myself and the team: think before you do. Don't do before you think. Stay in, stay safe, and don't pass it on to anybody. Bit of a somber message, but that's life. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next little ditty or whatever. Keep safe.